First up, of course, is the competency grid. This is absolutely essential. You know that during the first round, whether it's a telephone interview or actually first round with HR, or even actually on your application form, you're going to have to talk about the competencies. I strongly suggest that you go back to sixth form, the start of sixth form, and you make a list of everything that you've been involved with. This is column 1 of the grid. So that'll be clubs, societies, trips, competitions, anything that you've actually been involved with that has developed you as a person. Column 2 identifies the key competency or key competencies that are inherent within that. So, for example, is it leadership? Is it teamwork? Is it time management? Is it dealing with pressure, etc.? So you identify 2 particular competencies for that particular story. Then column 3, 4 and 5 are the way in which you structure the answer when you're putting it on the application form or the way you talk about it during interview. The model I use is CAR. So column 3 is the context, column 4 is the action, and column 5 is the result. One of the biggest errors that students make is spending far too long talking about the context. Actually, it's the action, what you actually did specifically, and the results that you achieved. Now, the results that you achieve can be empirical, for example, raising £5,000 for charity, or they could be soft skills focused, that you developed your leadership, that you now get on well better with delegating, get on better with making decision making, etc. And that's what we're after with the grid. Okay, top tip number 2 is the briefing sheet. Seems strange, but a lot of students don't do it. You've got a target firm in mind, and you're going to have to answer questions on the firm, what differentiates them, why you've chosen that firm. You've got to have information. That information goes onto a 1-page briefing sheet. What sort of information is on there? Okay, clearly you're going to have what's the culture of the firm, but how do I know that, Gwyn? Because you read through the website and you find the words that are repeated, the ones they put stress or emphasis on. Are they focusing on entrepreneurship? Are they focusing on teamwork? Are they focusing on communication skills? Think about it. Listen to the podcasts. Listen to the little talking heads that you find on the graduate websites where Human Resources Department will often embed information. You can cherry pick that information and use it. You go to the annual report. Obviously, you don't read the whole annual report. You read the executive summary. Yes, you go to the various guides you can find. So, for example, if you're going for a law firm, then you're going to go to Chambers, you're going to go to Lex, etc. But you also go to YouTube, you also go on to Bloomberg, and you find interviews with their CEO, you find interviews with their CFO, etc. You need to read around. You need to read around. Do the searches. If you're looking at the FT, make sure that you've already done your preparation. See some of our, or listen to some of our other tips on that first. But if you go to the FT, you'll see the list of the companies that are mentioned in that particular newspaper on that particular day. And you can find the ones that you're interested in, or you just search them online. But you need a depth of information. Which people have they recruited recently? Have they been involved in any mergers or acquisitions? Have they won any prizes? Have they won any awards? Have they opened a new office? Where did they last open? Have they reduced any of their divisions? What's happening with the firm? Absolutely key that you get a briefing sheet. So at interview, you're certainly going to be asked something about commercial awareness and or news. Now, many candidates focus on the commercial awareness and they'll do their reading of City AM, they'll listen to Bloomberg, etc. And they'll concentrate on the financial news or they'll concentrate on the big business stories. You need to do more than that. You also need to concentrate on what's happening politically, economically, and otherwise in the world. Typically, within the last month of us filming this, I can say that a top law firm, their final round interview, what question do they ask? So you've heard of ISIS, how would you solve that problem? Very nice too, okay? Person I know, unfortunately, hadn't done enough research because they hadn't met me at that particular time. You need to be on top of the news. Political, economic, yes, you need to know about Ebola. Why do you need to know about Ebola? Because it's going to impact business. How's it going to impact business? Because West Africa is booming. Which firms are opening up offices? Which investment funds are going in there? How much are people having more money to spend? How big a market is it? Massive. It's going to have an impact. Next tip, motivation. You have to be clear about why you want to work for the firm, why you want to work in that particular industry, in that particular sector. It cannot be woolly, fluffy, or generic, which is typically what happens. Oh, because this firm, this industry allows early responsibility. This firm will allow me to travel internationally. Nowhere near good enough. You need to drill right down. You also need to provide specific evidence that you have looked at and considered alternative career pathways, alternative sectors, and then why have you discounted them? Why have you finalized on this particular area? Yes, it could be the classic that it gives you very clear and structured pathway to the top. There are some firms where you can go from junior to director level within a very short, or partner level, in a very short period of time. Certain consultancies, management consultancies out there, are renowned for this. You need to be clear about whether they're going to give you extra training. The classic example is everybody loves Goldman Sachs. Why? Goldman Sachs University, GSU. Top training. But maybe it's flexibility. Flexibility, some of the financial advisory firms allow you to change your pathways as you develop your career. As you get a partner, as you get children, you won't want to be making the same commitments to the firm as you were doing previously. And they give you that flexibility. Other firms don't. You need to know specifically why that firm, what they offer, but more importantly, or as importantly, why that specific sector. Okay, so the next one seems very simple, yet lots of students don't do it. Breathe. What typically happens when people are under stress, when they're under pressure, is they close up. They drop the chin to protect the throat, body comes in like this. Bad body language anyway. You need to be open. But if you're open, you will also be breathing better. Not shallow breathing, but thinking about when you're playing sports, you're about to take that penalty kick. You're about to start playing in an orchestra and you're just about ready to go. You're focused, you're concentrated, and you take that breath. Drop the tension from the shoulders and talk to the person.